Most people don't burn out because they're weak or they can't handle the pressure or they can't sustain the life that they're living in. They burn out because their nervous system is doing a job that it was never meant to do long term, and that is to stay in survival mode. My name's Cameron Allen. I'm a founder of Neuroprogeny, and I've worked with hundreds of parents, CEOs, entrepreneurs that have been dealing with brain fog, feeling like they're just have a shorter fuse, not able to be as present with their kids or at home. And when we start exploring what's the baseline, what's underneath all of those symptoms, and it really comes down to the nervous system capacity. It comes down to what is your allostatic load, which is just your stress set point. When you've experienced stress for an extended period of time, there are three distinct things that have to come together at the same time in order for your nervous system to actually reset that allostatic load and bring that set point for stress back down. The first is you have to have a real-time mirror. You have to authentically see when your mind is going into those narrative loops, when your mind is starting to monitor for danger, when you're starting to get attached to outcomes. And then we've got to create a cognitive framework to be able to anchor this in, which allows us to understand how we shift and change. There are three distinct stages of change that we go through. And then within that, there's 8 phases. And we have to go through each one of those in order for the nervous system to actually come back online and to shift so the vagus nerve can come online and be able to communicate a positive feedback loop between the brain and the body that is going to tell yourself, I'm safe, everything's good. Then the third thing that has to happen is that it has to be anchored in community. There are 2 really important reasons for this. The first is that our mirror neurons kick on when we are observing others and we are in accountability with others. That allows us to actually feel what is possible before we have experienced it internally. The second piece of oxytocin and why this is so important, this is that bonding, connection, and safety hormone that actually allows our nervous system to calm down. But even more importantly, it actually allows the entire nervous system to come into alignment between our brain and our body. Why that's important? What fires together wires together. So when everything is actually connected and you're in a parasympathetic nervous system state, that is when you can learn. That is when your nervous system can actually move into relationally embodied change that allows everything to integrate and to hold. So we've created the X-Regulation immersive course that does all 3 of these things. First, you're going to be in virtual reality in an immersive biofeedback environment where you can see yourself clearly. You're going to learn the 3 stages of change and the 8 phases of change, along with exercises for self-inventory and to be able to foster meaningful change within yourself by looking in and identifying those areas of your nervous system that really need more efficiency. And then doing this within a small cohort, a community of individuals that allows for embodied change. We've kept these immersive courses small. Each course only has 16 seats. So I encourage you, if you're ready to shift a lot of those internal narratives, increase focus, increase performance, increase the quality of your relationships, I would suggest that you reserve your spot in one of the 2026 immersive courses now.